Hello, post-university esports fans. Warren JuggleGod Hammond here, excited to bring you more Overwatch 2 action tonight. This time we are going to the NECC, where currently the post-university Eagles are sitting at a 1-2 record, going up against New England College tonight, who is currently sitting at 0-3. So both of these teams really looking to improve their record. Post-university, of course, hoping to go even on the season right now, looking for that 500 mark. And yeah, New England just hoping to notch that first win. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be a nice match. We are going to be headed to Nepal first. That is going to be the locale that we find ourselves starting out at. And it is going to be Village, which is the most brawly of the Nepal maps. All three sub-maps here on Nepal. Very, I wouldn't say necessarily favor Brawl, but Brawl is definitely very common. This is where it is certainly the strongest. If you're familiar with Overwatch, then you know a lot of the control sub-maps, they kind of favor different things. Each one of them is slightly different, so one typically ends up being a brawl, another one ends up being more dive-focused, and I feel like the third is almost always kind of mix and match. You can do almost exact whatever you want. But tonight, we're starting on Village. Krystal leading us out here on the tank role. These are the Battle Cattle. It's going to be met with a very similar composition from the other side. In fact, it's just the DPS and one support that look a little bit different. So it'll be curious to see kind of how that plays out tonight for us. Ooh, big spear to push Funky Monk back on New England's side. So that might allow Post University to get this first capture here before even getting a pick necessarily. Krystal just misses with that spear, eats one on her own. But again, that is Post University taking possession right off the bat. PapaGepetto is able to pick one off, but they go down pretty low as well. They're going to be traded out for the tank for New England College. But that just means that Post University is going to be able to hold on here. They got a one-player advantage, so I think we're going to see the rest of New England kind of back up a bit and just kind of give room here. Ooh, Ghost Dragon tries to push in a little bit aggressively, but instead is pushed back out. Post University playing up pretty far up here. Moridin, she has to back off just a little bit. Or he does, rather. That's going to be a big Terra Surge from Krystal. She knocks down two players, securing another fight win here for Post University. PapaGepetto, he is going down kind of low. He's going to have to back out of the fight here for just a second, or otherwise risk this kind of going the other way. Here comes a big Riptire, and this could work out pretty well. Funky Monk is still pretty low despite the coalescence happening. Sound barrier comes in from Momo. It was on McCree Owo tonight. Post University once again takes the fight. But Ghost Dragon does take Krystal out. Here comes the Death Blossom, but it's booped away. The Captive Sun. I'm not sure if it's going to hit anybody. Ghost Dragon takes one out. The prize with the coalescence keeping everybody alive and driving everyone back as well. Funky Monk tries to go for the Terra Surge, but doesn't really find much success with it. Pize has to work overtime to keep her team healed up. PapaGepetto. Oh, what a spear coming out from Funky Monk. But they again are going to pay for it with their lives. Krystal's back in. Death Blossom lands. And that's going to be Post University making that first point 100-0.
Score 0-1. Ready or battle. So, sweet Edina has grown into a domineering beast.
My name is Orisa. You would be wise to remember it.
So a little bit of a change here. Starmaki going over to the Life Weaver. See if that provides a little bit more healing for New England's side of the equation. No changes coming out for Post University. Oh, there's also a sim coming out. They try to get there first, but actually the TP is denied by Krystal with a beautiful javelin. She's done a great job actually using that javelin just to kind of create space, right? Using it to just keep everybody at bay, which has been fantastic. Again, you can see it right there, forcing Funky Monk to use some of their abilities to try and touch point, even taking out Ghost Dragon as well. So great play here. Coming out from Post University. Now the cleanups come in as well, and it looks like Funky Monk might get staggered too because all of the support is down. A Sombra coming out now for New England College. You can see that Sombra kind of going around the backside. Probably going to be looking to hack Momo. Especially if they think that they're going to have that sound barrier coming up soon, which they don't, but there's certainly a possibility, and that's definitely going to be the big target, I think, for... Actually, they have gotten pretty close to it. Big hack onto PapaGepetto. Goes down very low, and in fact, going to be traded out there. That gives Funky Monk an opportunity to kind of push onto point here. So now, Post University having a little bit of a problem holding on here. Moridin pulled into the... What a... paddle right there. Actually, I think that was unfortunate because it meant that the Terra Surge did not land. So unfortunate there for Funky Monk. That took a couple of ultimates for Post University. They're still looking pretty healthy as far as that's concerned. They're going to have the sound barrier. They're going to have Death Blossom. In fact, sound barrier used kind of aggressively here, as we can see Ghost Dragon flanking around the back as Funky Monk comes in looking for that Terra Surge. Doesn't find anything with it. Monk gets some damage in him. McCree goes down. So now Post University going to be fighting from behind. Here comes a big Tac Visor with Revelation, but huge Death Blossom from Moridin. Takes out 3. PapaGepetto picks out the next one. 90-some% on the board. It's just going to be Sombra trying to touch point. Become visible right at the last second here to see if they can keep the point alive, but I don't think anybody's going to be close enough to touch. Tree thrown on point, and that will be Post University taking the first map in style. Yeah, let's watch this Death Blossom here, because that definitely saved this fight, especially considering Revelation had that... oh, this isn't even the Death Blossom! Yeah, Moridin really putting in a lot of work there. So great showing coming out for Post University on that first map. Made Nepal look easy. So now we're going to take a minute to see where they decide to go next. Lots of different options. I don't remember exactly what the map pool is for. Hold on, I gotta center myself here. What the map pool is for NECC. So we'll find out soon though. As I believe the map pick will be. Oh yeah, that's right. The map pick will be on New England College. Looks like we're getting a slight swap here for Post University. PapaGepetto is going to take the tank role now. Krystal moving over to DPS, it looks like. Which is really interesting to see, right? It's cool to see that Post University has a couple of players who can kind of swap between roles as needed. And the fact that they can kind of do it within just the same 5 players, I think is really powerful as well, right? Because then you're, you're not necessarily swapping out a player who will bring a different dynamic to the team. Not saying that that's necessarily bad, but you're playing with 5 players kind of consistently and all the time who you know how they work. And so that's going to be pretty powerful, I think, for Post University here. So I'm excited to see kind of this tank swap. And if I remember correctly, PapaGepetto was the one who played tank previously, kind of last season for Post University. So it's awesome to see Krystal, to see her getting some time on tank and performing very well. I mean, I think honestly, to me, what I was most impressed about with Krystal was just the way that she was able to control space, especially using the javelin again, right? Just consistently pushing the enemy team back, just making them kind of fight for that space, making the tank fight for that space. And forcing the other team to use resources to just try and get to the point in the first place. So let's see how PapaGepetto is going to fare now on the tank role. We are going to be moving to an escort map next. So let's see here. Yeah, they're in the pick ban phase. So Route 66 has been banned so far. Which is an interesting one, because that one I think favors kind of a brawly composition a little bit more as far as the escorts are concerned. Certainly there is opportunity to dive. It's not necessarily a huge poke map either, although it certainly is possible. But I wonder if this, coming from New England College, is an attempt to kind of try and force Post University off of the brawl. And between both of the Post University teams, I think that their brawl is very, very strong. That's certainly kind of the bread and butter of both of these teams. So I think this makes sense. I think this is a good game plan coming out from New England College. The question is, what is Post University going to ban in response, right? Do they think that NEC is trying to get them get onto a dive map? Are they trying to get onto a poke map? Okay, cool. Havana was banned, and NEC picked Circuit Royale. So they want to go the route of poke. They really want to look at it kind of a poke composition. So I'm expecting Sigma to come out here for Post University. Possibly NEC as well. I don't know that team. But my guess is we're going to see kind of a Sigma-based composition happen here. And I'll be curious to see, too, what what kind of DPS we see coming out, too. Because, again, if it's a poke-style map like Circuit Royale, probably going to see some Hanzos, Ashe, Widowmaker. Any of those, I think, would be kind of a staple coming out here. Don't expect to see anything like the Junkrat. Afara would certainly be very difficult to try and make work here. So that's going to be my guess for what we see here as we move into Circuit Royale. Now, let's talk a little bit about what NEC, I think, needs to try and do in order to make some headway against Post University, because Post University looked pretty dominant on Nepal. A lot of times when you look at teams, right, and they come out on control map isn't necessarily very prescriptive of what you're going to see in future maps. A lot of times you'll find a team that's just really, really good at control, but then the other maps they're not quite as strong on. That map type plays very differently than most of the other map types in Overwatch. So that could be a thing here. Only time is going to tell. It is going to be Post University on defense first this time, so they're going to be swapped over to the blue side of things when we load into the map. So we're going to get an opportunity to see where NECC, we're in NECC, and we're watching NEC play. That has definitely been throwing me off consistently today so far, even before the stream started. But we're going to get to see where NEC is going to kind of put that golden box of victory, what that line in the sand is going to be for post-university. So the big question to me is where, is NEC going to get to the Streets phase, right? Because the Streets phase, I think, of Circuit Royale is where things really start to get kind of unique and different. And First Point is really where the poke composition kind of excels the most, shall we say. Just because of the nature of it, right? That's where those really, really long sight lines are. That's where the... there's not as much cover for really anybody, so you're going to want to be utilizing that poke composition there primarily. After that, Brawl becomes a lot more, not necessarily possible, but amenable to the situation. So if NEC gets through the first phase, what is going to be post-university's response? We're actually seeing more of a Brawl composition come out here, at least as far as like the tank is concerned. PapaGepetto starting things out on the Orisa. But we do have Moridin. He's going to be starting out on the Hanzo, which makes a lot of sense. No big surprise there. And Krystal picking up the Torbjorn. Love to see it. Post University, a big fan of the turret, the turret heroes, which honestly makes me very happy. I love seeing that. Well, we're going to take a little peek here at Moridin to see what he's going to be up to right off the bat. And get a little bit of info, see if we can find a head. This thing started immediately kind of gives up that high ground position, though, which is... which will be interesting to see how this plays out. Certainly it's going to make him safer to kind of be in here with the team, but that means that they don't necessarily have kind of a crossfire going, which they really want. But PapaGepetto already takes out Ghost Dragon. Big headshot coming out from Moridin as well. Sending Revelation back to spawn, and Post University has started with a great hold here. Funky Monk has opted for the Zarya, which means that NEC is going to be playing going to be kind of a staccato pace. Big pick, though, from Ghost Dragon onto PapaGepetto, so now everybody from Post University going to have to back up. Moridin does fight ahead on that Hanzo, and so far I've been very impressed with their Hanzo play. But the rest of Post University having to back off. At this point, Post really just kind of needs to make sure that they don't stagger themselves anymore, so Pize really needs to find a way to stay safe. And Gepetto has swapped over to the Reinhardt, which I think is going to meet and match up against the Zarya a little bit better, because that Zarya beam is going to just eat straight through the Javelin spin, which really kind of negates any of the value that it has. But NEC has made very good progress here, and so now we're definitely seeing more of a brawly composition come out. And this is going to work out well, too, for PapaGepetto. We're getting a pause here, so we're going to throw it back out for a second just while they get sorted out. And to give me an opportunity to chat and see what's up. Looks like, yeah, pause called by Post University, so hopefully any kind of tech issues are being worked out. But that pick from Krystal onto Revelation is big. Now there's going to be a lot less damage kind of going into Reinhardt's shield, which means that PapaGepetto is going to be able to sustain longer in these fights that are coming up. Currently, actually, I'm going to send it back to game so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. So PapaGepetto doesn't necessarily have very much health at all, right? And with that tiny bit of health, they are kind of in a rough position to hold space here. Now you can see kind of over to the right side of the screen, Pize has the healing turret out, so that's certainly going to help. But that shield's going to need to last, and it's going to definitely last a lot better without Revelation there, just kind of chunking damage into that. So Post University is in kind of a tough spot here, but it is certainly manageable, right? As long as Gepetto keeps his shield up, and if Krystal and Moridin can find more picks, then Pize and Momo should be able to heal up Gepetto pretty quickly. So hopefully that'll be the case for Post University. Now, on the other side of the equation, what does NEC need to do here? And I think, again, just kind of the big thing is work that shield, right? Because even if PapaGepetto gets healed back up, if they can take down that shield, if just everybody, in the absence of Revelation, can throw as much damage in as possible, then it might not even matter that Revelation is down. Sure, PapaGepetto will get some health back, but then they're going to be forced to just either kind of hug a corner or just stay and swing the hammer in the midst of the entire team to make space and then just hope they don't go down or hope they get a pick. But again, like, shield management, I think, is going to be of utmost importance here for PapaGepetto. That's definitely going to be the name of the game. Starmaki as well has their ultimate about to come up, so it is entirely possible if NEC feels like they're in a decent enough spot here and PapaGepetto is still low enough, or they get another hero on Post University side low, then I think Starmaki using that Coalescence could be a pretty big boon for them. But we're jumping back in. We're about to find out. PapaGepetto's shield is actually very, very low, and Funky Monk just jumps right behind it. Molten Core comes in as well, but Moridin with a big Dragon Strike is able to kind of clear some area and really helped. It got a lot of help as well from that Molten Core to really own that space, to keep that space for Post University. So now Post University is down to just one ultimate, but that Captive Sun could be very, very big. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that to see if Pize can make something big happen there. That is a big Graviton Surge, though, and that's going to be Pize going down almost immediately. Big res, though, from McCree. Oh, watch. Funky Monk in the meantime does chunk down that shield, but pays for it with their own life. Revelation gets one. It's going to be a 3v3 on point right now. 3v4, pardon me, as NEC does have a slight advantage, but Post University is not giving it up. They're doing a great job kind of playing their off angles here, but Starmaki does eventually find Krystal, and with that, Moridin trying as best as they can to hold on. As you can hear the charge coming in for PapaGepetto, they do find themselves back on the ground. They have the Shatter. They are going to throw it out. Somehow misses Killer, but they're able to get one and hold on to the point. What a hold from Post University, but it is not over yet. Minute left to go here, and there's a couple of pretty impactful ultimates coming up. The DPS plus the Captive Sun for Killer Bow on NEC side. I'm anticipating they're going to start with either the Overclock or... Oh, here comes Pize, though, with their Captive Sun. Doesn't look like it necessarily hit anybody. Multicore coming out as well from Krystal to try and just hold the space. And you can see PapaGepetto pushing up pretty aggressively because of that Molten Core. They're able to get that pick, and PapaGepetto may even be able to kind of hold this other angle right here. Here comes the Coalescence, though, from Starmaki. That could be pretty problematic, but you can see PapaGepetto is just kind of holding on. Krystal does get hit by the Captive Sun, so she's going to back up behind PapaGepetto's shield. Ghost Dragon finds one. PapaGepetto charges in to try and retake that space, but is charging into a lot of damage, especially with that Overclock going hard. PapaGepetto goes down very low. Sound barrier in from McCree Overwatch, so they're able to hold on. Big plays there. The charge for PapaGepetto, though, when they had barely any health. Maybe not the best advice thing, but there's no take to be found here for anyone. So now, once again, down to the DPS, down to the support. Dragon Strike to clear point, though. Finds two. Pushes the other two players from NEC off the point. And Revelation trying hard to get back to point. But all they're going to find is death and demise. But look at this. They're just running around the cart to try and stall out. It worked for a moment, but not for too terribly long. And this is honestly one of the best case scenarios for Post University. They just have to essentially complete the first point. Technically not even, but for all intents and purposes, they just need to capture first point, and they'll be good to go.
Initiating match.
So what will be NEC's response?
Ready for battle.
They're still debating what tank they want to run out with here. But that's a lot of damage coming out. Funky Monk does eventually settle on the Zarya. So we've got the Omnic turret. That being Bastion coming out.
I've done things I'm not proud of. Time to start making up for it.
PapaGepetto at the moment, hovering over the JQ. Looks like that's going to stick, and I like that because that means that Post University is just going to be kind of looking to force the point, right? And with another tank like Zarya coming out, that tank is kind of bursty as far as like Brawl is concerned, right? You have to be very consistently like in and out, right? You go in when you have your bubble, you get out when you don't. Whereas PapaGepetto is going to be able to just kind of stay in on this JQ once he's got all of his abilities up and ready to go. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. We're looking to see where Funky Monk's bubbles are at. They should have one still at this moment. And now they've got Ghost Dragon in the turret, but they have gotten hit by that knife, so that's going to be a big deal. They are pulled in. A lot of damage comes in, but Post University able to kind of sustain through it. Funky Monk does eat that knife as well. PapaGepetto trying to get them to pull in, but unable to. Okay, big aggressive sound barrier coming in. Krystal almost takes out Revelation on that high ground, but unable to find it. PapaGepetto does swing the axe to find Star Maki, and now with this kind of push right here, and with this kind of progress, Post University realistically might only need to win one fight, right? This fight is still going on. They haven't technically won it yet, but they're very close. Oh, Krystal so close to finding Revelation, but that's going to be a big pick there for NEC. Funky Monk pushing pretty aggressively here. Here comes an amplification matrix. Moridin coming in with a nice dragon strike, is able to take out one. PapaGepetto does take quite a bit of damage there from Ghost Dragon, though, and that will be a beautiful hold for NEC. So Post University gets a pretty decent amount of progress on the cart. And again, kind of in a situation where they need to win one fight at this point. Oh, what a shot! You hear the head dink from Moridin, and Krystal finishes it off. So another one-player advantage here for Post University. PapaGepetto actually dropping down on Funky Monk, has swapped back over to the Reinhardt once again. Coalescence coming in, but Funky Monk pushes too aggressively, and Moridin is there to punish. So now it's going to be up to the rest of NEC to just try and hold on for dear life, but they're having a hard time as more and more of them fall. Beautiful headshot from Moridin. Moridin has been absolutely phenomenal on the Hanzo, clicking head after head after head. And what a charge from Geppetto! That's going to be it. Post University will take map number 2. Yeah, and Moridin was absolutely phenomenal on this map. Moridin, I think, was, you know, definitely deserved the play of the game. Also, I think just kind of the anchor point for Post University on this one. Just consistently good Dragon Strikes, consistently good picks otherwise, and led to just a fantastic run for Post University there through Circuit Royale. So we head to map number 3. And again, we are back to the question of what makes the most sense next for NEC. And again, we're going to have to take a moment to find out what the map type is, because I am, again, just not familiar with the map order for NECC. This is having cast for NECC for a bit. Been doing the ECAC on Wednesday nights instead. So we'll see what what band's coming first, and then we'll know kind of what map type we are looking at. But PapaGepetto did a great job, again, on tank, kind of picking up where where she left off. Certainly a slightly different hero pool that he was playing with, but it worked out very well, regardless, nonetheless. And I really liked the swaps over to Reinhardt in response to Funky Monk going on to the Orisa, or not to the Orisa, but to the Zarya. I think the Zarya was in response to the Orisa, right? Again, looking for that beam to kind of make the javelin spin not worthless, but less value or less valuable. So that was a good adjustment, but I think from NEC, I would have liked to see a swap off of the Zarya to something that could just brawl a little bit better, either an Orisa of their own or honestly a Ramattra. Ramattra, I think, would have been great here for NEC. And again, Sig, honestly kind of surprised that we didn't see Sigma at all. Because this, Circuit Royale is almost synonymous with Sigma in Overwatch. But I think that's been less the case recently, just with the kind of with the patch and the balance changes. So looks like we might have a little bit longer break here, so I'm just going to throw it to a Be Right Back stream. But don't go anywhere. We will be back with more action in map number 3 very soon. All right, very short break there, chat. We are headed straight back in. It is going to be Flashpoint next, and we're going to Saravasa this time around. So I haven't gotten to see Saravasa yet for post-university, so I'm excited. Neither team plays Saravasa, so can't wait to see how this goes, what kind of compositions we're going to see out of both sides. Of course, if you're not familiar with the Flashpoint map style, the newest one in Overwatch 2. It's basically 5 control points. The first one that we're going to see is the point in the center. And then from there, one of the 4 points, kind of in a plus sign, around that first point, will be where we go.
Ready for battle.
Aha, the Ramattra does come out. Actually, we're going to see Funky Monk swap over to the DPS and Ghost Dragon pick up the Mantle of Tank this time around. So I like this change. I like this adjustment. PapaGepetto actually showing the Zarya this time around.
5, 4, 3,
We'll see if that sticks.
1. Initial flashpoint marked.
Ooh, TP coming out as well from Post University. They're looking to get there quick. Krystal on the sim. She is phenomenal on that here, and we can see she's already setting up the turrets to kind of make the entrance here a little bit tougher for NEC. PapaGepetto trying to get a bit of charge there for when the rest of the team pushes in those turrets. Putting a little bit of a damper on things for Funky Monk right there. Forces them back just a little bit. Krystal now looking for an off angle to see if they can finish the job off that their turret started. And the turrets actually keep everybody at bay, so Post University is able to get that first point capture. And now PapaGepetto, it looks like the beam there charged medium-high at this point. Oh no, very high. So they're going to be able to push him pretty aggressively. Moridin didn't realize was on. The Tracer finds Funky Monk to the side. That 100 energy beam doing a ton of work. Bubble comes back out and is ready and available now for PapaGepetto as they just hold W with that high charge beam. Might be eating a little too much damage here. Forced to back out and use a bubble. Now, Post University probably wants to try and kite it back to point because, yeah, PapaGepetto is not going to be able to hold there for very long. So this is a golden opportunity for NEC now to push in without this, and now without another player on the side of Post University. So Pize trying to hold things off there on the Baptiste. Definitely a good hero to have in a situation like this, right? Somebody who can certainly hold their own. And Post University has actually done a wonderful job of kind of holding on. But Starmaki with their Coalescence has found one, looking for another. Post University will be able to get this up to 99%. Pushes back against Starmaki, still falls in the process. But Post just needs to win one fight here, so they're going to back off and regroup. And the big thing to take notice of is PapaGepetto does have a Graviton Surge here. So that could be big. We can see Moridin swapping over to the Hanzo again. Back to what they liked and what felt like it was working well for them. Ooh, Krystal going to enter with an ultimate that's going to allow them to get to point pretty effectively, but Revelation finds two. What a phenomenal play, and that is going to completely mitigate this push. PapaGepetto still throws out the Graviton Surge, which I think was a bit of a mistake there. Tac Visor, though, they do get that out. So that's certainly a plus there for Post University, but they're going to have to try pretty hard to get the point. I think it's going to be on Momo to get there with a speed boost. Looks like she's going to try and boost everybody onto point. Could see like an aggressive sound barrier come here. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to see, and I like that move. It immediately leads to a pick to Revelation, who was the one who won that last fight. Krystal finds a second kill. Immortality Field is out. Post University needs to deal with it now that it's down. McCree, Momo pushes a little too aggressively. Killer Pal trying to stay alive. Starmaki finds another, so now it's a 3v3, but PapaGepetto does eventually get the tank out of the way, so Post University is a little dicey there, but they made it, they found it, and they're going to be able to take that first capture point. Ooh, Revelation does find their way back, so it is not over yet. Going to have some staggers coming in here, but Funky Monk unfortunately does not touch before the time expires. So we're going to be headed to Ruins next. Which is one of the more interesting points because it has this long stairwell. Oh, Pize gets picked off early. That's going to be trouble for Post University because now that's their big source of heals. They're just going to have kind of the AoE heals. Big Tac Visor coming out as well off of the back of that Gravitic Flux. So, great play there from NEC to take first control of this point. I guess that was actually a Krystal's Tac Visor. Didn't realize she was the one who used it. So, a lot of times you will see the Tac Visor combined with a Gravitic Flux because then there's no way anyone can hide from the Tac Visor. Everybody's very stationary, but that was not the case. I'm going to be looking for more Dragon Strike shenanigans coming out from Moridin here, as they've been able to do a phenomenal job with it. They've already got some information as to where everybody is. They get probably beautiful job with the Storm Arrows. Now they're looking for an off angle to see if they can find a way in, but PapaGepetto taking a lot of damage here. Starmaki goes down as well. Ghost Dragon does find Pize, so once again, Pize having a hard time staying alive, but Post University consistently staying ahead in this fight. They do need to watch for Funky Monk, though, kind of on that high ground. Tac Visor coming in as well, but Krystal says no, not this time. Post University takes the point. And crucially, they got the Tac Visor out as well. Moridin was able to hold on to the Dragon Strike. It was good because I think they want to try and combine it with this Graviton Surge of PapaGepetto's. One of the, if not One of the most classic, if not the most classic, ultimate combinations in Overwatch. Ghost Dragon has swapped over to the Reinhardt. Ooh, charge coming in. Actually connects with PapaGepetto, but that's just going to charge them. Moridin finds one. Here's the Graviton Surge. The Dragon Strike coming straight through it. Immortality Field, though, holds everybody's hand, keeps them alive, but it's not going to be enough to save that fight, as now the rest of Post University just slices through NEC. Beautiful ult combination there. And so Post University should get this point. We might get a last moment contest here, but it looks like Funky Monk is even just backing up at this point. Yeah, not going to be able to touch here. Ghost Dragon might be feeding at this point. Actually, it looks like they want to try and take the fight here, even though they know they're not going to touch. So they do get Coalescence out, but that's just going to laser straight through the tank. Oh, boy, and Pize even gets one more. Heading to control point number 3. Big stagger right there for Post. Oh, but that's a big pick as well for NEC. Pize looking to go for the flanking Moira play.
Flashpoint unlocks in 10 seconds.
So this point right here, Post University is actually staggering everybody. Should be able to take this fight pretty effectively. Krystal taking an off angle here, and most likely looking to get set up for next fight. Actually, no, going to go ahead and use that TAC visor to just ensure the point gets captured. The shield was so low, they're able to find some success with it. But Revelation now has the overclock, so that's definitely going to be something to look out for. You would see Moridin trying to duel them up on this high ground. Actually now going head-to-head against Funky Monk. But in the meantime, Revelation has found one on point, as has the tank. So Post University does get control of the point first, but they are going to yield it as well. Nice retake coming in from NEC. And Post University expended a lot of ultimates, or at least a couple of big ones there. Kind of in the fight getting to the point, and then the fight on point as well. Again, I think we're going to be looking for the Grab Dragon combo, as both Gepetto and Moridin are very close to that. You can see them contemplating rotating to this high ground. McCree getting close to that sound barrier too, so they're going to be good in the face of a couple of these big DPS ults. Nice trade there from... Oh, but that could be a big shatter right there. Depends on who they got. They did find Momo, so it's going to be a problem for them. Coalescence coming in as well. Post University might have to just chalk this point up and wait until the next one, as NEC does a great job of kind of controlling the tempo there. Post University really just kind of waited too long to do anything in that fight, and because of that, they gave the tempo away. They gave the impetus and kind of the advantage to NEC in that fight. We can see Momo trying to get away, but it's going to be taken out. So 2-1. NEC trying to claw back into this one. If they're going to win, though, they have to win all 3 maps. It will be a reverse sweep if they take this. Post University just needs to notch one more point here on Suravasa to secure their victory and go 2-2 overall here. And now, once again, we do have this Grab Dragon set up for Post University. So I'm anticipating that coming out first here. Now, the good thing to notice is that NEC has been very, very economical with their ultimates here. Yeah, there comes the Dragon Strike with the Graviton Surge, able to take out one, make it 2. Sound Barrier comes in as well just to help secure the point. And Moridin just finding head after head and kill after kill. So NEC does get the point, but they're going to only hold it for a moment, as Post University has already kind of eclipsed that capture percentage. However, Post University spent 4 ultimates in that fight, so that was definitely an overcommit there. And the Pize is going to have to be the one who kind of makes things happen here. Funky Monk is swapped over to the Bastion, so that's going to be problematic for PapaGepetto. They're really going to have to be careful with their bubble usage and also make sure that they're playing natural cover a lot more. And you can see PapaGepetto already doing that, right? Really hugging that corner to to make sure they stay in a good place. Charge coming in. PapaGepetto does get the bubble out in time and is able to take out Ghost Dragon. So this could be the last fight here, but McCree Overwatch goes down. Pize might be the one who has to make this happen, throwing in as much heals as they can to Post University. They have the Coalescence ready to go, and I think we're probably going to see it here in response to NEC's Coalescence. So they throw out a little bit more heals. Krystal going down very low, and in fact taken out by the Coalescence from Starmaki. Starmaki actually going to be able to kind of lead the way here for NEC to capture the point, and Pize, I don't think is going to get out. Momo trying to help them with that speed barrier, or with that speed boost. So we can see them going back now to pick up everybody else. But once again, that was actually incredible. PapaGepetto and Moridin built up another Grab Dragon in that amount of time. So we're going to be looking for that again. Oh, that's a lot of damage going in. And PapaGepetto already down. Big Earth Shatter coming out from Ghost Dragon to secure that fight win with just one ultimate. I'm not sure if Post University gets back in time. If they do, it's all going to be up to Momo. But if Post University can get back, they have an opportunity to put this map and put this series away in one fell swoop. But PapaGepetto has to stay alive. It is going to be Krystal who touches point, and they were able to get... Dragon Strike actually just goes in without the Graviton Surge this time around. There's already been a couple of picks. Big Soundberry, though, as Pize is able to find one. They're going to look to see if they can find another one. Funky Monk goes down low. They're able to take them out. Momo doing a wonderful job just kind of staying alive here, but it's not going to be quite enough. And Post University, are they going to let victory slip between their fingers here on Suravasa? As we're moving on to the final one. The final point here. Oh, Graviton Surge comes out almost immediately. Here's Attack Visor, though. One goes down. Starmaki, I think, missed their footing there. Ghost Dragon falls as well, and now Post University in a wonderful position. Great heads-up play there from Krystal to just get that Attack Visor out and going almost immediately. PapaGepetto finishing things off with the Graviton Surge. But once again, they don't have any ultimates, and now Moridin and PapaGepetto are kind of out of sync with their Grab Dragons. So that could be problematic. Revelation has an overclock, so that's definitely going to be the big thing to watch out for here. Here comes Funky Monk's ultimate. He's going to throw it down. PapaGepetto able to get some charge with it. Shatter goes down, finds Pize. Are they going to be able to take him out? PapaGepetto is charged into oblivion. 45% on the board, and Post University is going to be sent back to spawn. This has been the most back and forth these two teams have been, and it also seems that NEC has kind of found a solution, kind of found a formula to deal with Post University. But PapaGepetto now picking up the German juggernaut, Reinhardt. It's actually quite a bit of damage that goes through there. PapaGepetto immediately up to 50% on their Earth Shatter. So that is big. If they can build the rest of that. Dragon Strike comes in. That's going to clear away some space. So we can see PapaGepetto charging in, trying to deal some damage to Funky Monk, but not really able to. Instead, turns around and has almost found one player. That's going to be two down. Post University dropping both support ultimates one more time. Killer Bow charged into oblivion. Post University now one fight away from securing the map and the series. With both support ultimates gone, it's going to be down to an Earth Shatter from PapaGepetto and this Tack Visor from Krystal. Krystal's going to need to work to get that Tack Visor up and going. Ghost Dragon has swapped over to the Ramatra, which is going to definitely favor NEC. Ram definitely goes better into Reinhardt, and Reinhardt into Ram. Here comes a big shatter, though, from Post University. I believe that was all 5, but look at this. Nobody touches the shatter, delays them long enough, and Post University takes the map and the series 3-0, improving their record to 2-2. They made the 500 mark. Oh yeah, this was a great Gravitic Flux here too. From Ghost Dragon. What a showing, though, from both teams. NEC certainly made it interesting there right at the end. So, great showing from everybody involved. Once again, congratulations, Post University. We are going to throw it to a break. I'm going to see if I can get an interview in here real quick. So, might be a couple of minutes before that happens, as this is only the second time we've tried this. So, we're still working out the kinks. But don't go anywhere. We will be back soon. Hello, everybody. No interview this time around. We'll see if we can make it work, make it happen for the next game. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Congratulations again to Post University improving the record at the NECC to 2-2, hitting that 500 mark. So hopefully more good things like that to come. Thank you all so much again for tuning in. My name, Warren JuggleGod Hammond. Be sure to follow Post University on all of their social media. GGs, and see you next time.